Hello and welcome back to another Shadowlands Goldmaking video. Actually, is it a Goldmaking video? I don't really know, but we are going to talk about the potential release date of 9.1 and talk about what can happen to Goldmaking and the economy in 9.1 and just talk about the most recent interview with PC Gamer to look at eventual release date for 9.1 and what is happening in that new patch. So basically, Ian had an interview with PC Gamer very recently talking about 9.1, how Shadowlands has been going so far in their initial release, how many copies they have sold and just the basics of the game, right? How it's working, what they have done good, what they can do better, the general feedback they have received, and a bit of everything, to be honest. And I thought it was a good interview, so I'm going to talk about it as well, and give my opinions on what is happening in 9.1. Before we talk about the interview itself though, I want to mention you can still grab the 0 to Goldmaking guide or 0 to Goldcap guide, there we go. 50% off by clicking the link down below and using my code when you buy it. This is a great ebook for gold making, and if you are a gold maker or a gold farmer and you need some guidance or help on your way to making gold, then this guide can definitely help you. So feel free to check it out at the link down below, and if you want to save some money when you buy it, use my code to save 50%. Alright, with that out of the way, I want to talk about the interview though, or my perspective on 9.1 before I talk about the interview itself, and what I think will happen, and you guys can leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. So usually, in the past, 9.2 or X.2 and X.3 are the big changes. That is when we get new zones, entire new factions, new materials, so that's the big thing, right, new materials. That usually happens in X.2 and X.3. Those are the big content change patches to bring in new content. X.1 is usually looking over and fixing the endgame system from X.0. So for example 9.1 would look to fix legendaries or Torghast and make the endgame better, change the looting system. I've heard some talks about getting badges for loot. So instead of having to rely on RNG for loot, you will get some sort of badges as well, giving you that kind of bad luck protection. So no matter how bad RNG you have, you will always have some luck. So that is usually what happens in 9.1 or X.1. I wouldn't really expect many huge changes for gold making. It would be the same materials, but the one thing we can look to is legendaries. I've heard many people talk about how legendaries will work in the future and so on, and I want to give my perspective on this topic. I think for 9.1 they will do it as simple as possible to focus more on that endgame content, though I don't think they will give us new materials in 9.1. That usually, based on what happens in the past, it happens in 9.2 and 9.3. That is when we get new materials to farm and stuff like that, so for 9.1, I think they will give us a legendary rank 5 and maybe rank 6. And the only question is how they will do this. Will they give us new legendary powers, giving us entire new things to craft? Or will they just keep the rank up system, so you need to make rank 1s, rank 2s, rank 3s and rank 4s to then get to rank 5? I think if they do the last one, it will be a bit difficult for new people to get into the legendary crafting system. But at the same time, the price of everything is going down right now, so the actual barrier to entry costs a lot less now than it did in the past. But yeah, I don't think we'll get new materials, we are stuck farming the same things, but we'll have to wait and see. Leave your thoughts down below, but with that said, I do want to show you guys the interview and show you the release date. Alright, so here's the interview right here, and I've scrolled a bit down so we can get to the parts of the interview that I'm most interested in. I will leave a link down below though to the entire thing. So basically, if we just take a quick look here, it's a lot of stuff over there. If we are going all the way down here though, now that Shadowlands is out, are there any big pieces of feedback that you're working to address? And this is where they bring up the looting thing. One big topic of discussion has been the way loot works in the Shadowlands endgame. We significantly reduced the rate at which players earn item rewards, but at the same time also stripped away randomness and tried to give everyone more clear goals to pursue and control over their progress towards them. When it comes to PvP itemization specifically, we are really happy with how that's playing out, but we think we can do more to make the experience of running dungeons and raids feel more satisfying when you don't get a specific item you're hoping for. And then there's just like balance talk, player abilities, covenants, adjustments, and especially the new Shadowlands systems like legendary items, and the covenants once again, which will come in patches. So it looks like they are working on the actual looting and how that's going to happen and stuff like that. Let's see where they are talking about the actual release date though of the patch. Here we go. When is the next big update happening? It's still a little bit early to be talking about a 9.1 update, but it'll probably release this spring. Now, spring 2021 is like from the middle of March, 20th of March I think, to the 20th of June according to Google. So if we are to go by that, then we have at least a few more months to go with this current patch, and maybe up to 5 months as well. If you're asking me, I think this patch will come in March or April, but that's just my own opinions based on like, if we are going to wait 4 months for 9.1 since release, that will be the 23rd of March, but if we go further than that, like 5 months would be the 23rd of April, so I want to say the middle of April would be when I think 9.1 will come out. And yeah, that's basically it, right? That's for the release date. They also talk about WoW 2 all the way at the end, which I think is really cool. I've been kind of memeing about WoW 2 on my streams a lot as well, and I really want to see WoW 2 happen sometime, as I've kinda... I would love to see WoW with like new graphics and new gameplay, new races, and like an entirely new story. And I would love a cohesive progress, like a cohesive story from WoW into WoW 2. I thought Shadowlands would be that perfect transition, going from like the realm of the dead into like a completely brand new universe. But they have said they want to do like 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 more expansions after this one as well. But I would love to see a WoW 2 at some point, it would be absolutely brilliant. But yeah, for this video though, basically I don't think there will be any new materials. Legendaries rank 5 and rank 6 will probably come out at some point during 9.1. Might come out in patches, right, as they said, but I think legendaries themselves will come out at 9.1's initial release. And then it's all like going up from there. And we will get new materials in 9.2 and 9.3, giving us different farms as well. Probably some new zones, but 9.1, I don't think there will be any new zones, any new materials, anything like that. Let me know what you think down below. I would be really interested to see your opinions on the subject. I will leave a link to the interview down below as well. And that is pretty much it. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like down below, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't, and that's it. Thank you so much for watching, I'll see you again very soon.